The mistletoe margarita, the Scrooge driver, the North Pole punch. The holidays call for cocktails, so get everything you'll need for them delivered with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. So
what's it gonna be?
Classics like Bullet Bourbon, Don Julio Reposado, or Kettle One, or maybe something new. Find it all on Drizzly, where you can get beer, wine, and spirits delivered for any holiday festivity. Download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
Hello and welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Adam and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Becca and Nicole.
What up?
Hey.
Hi. Today we're going to be talking about growing plants up.
Yeah.
You know.
Upright.
Just up. You know?
Erect.
There we go. That's what we're going to get into after we do our catch up. The girls that know. So let's find out what's going on in each other's lives. Becca, you had an exciting evening.
Oh my gosh. Well, we just recorded for Patreon like 12 hours ago. Oh, wait, not even 12 hours. Okay, more than 12.
Yeah.
Let's say 14 hours ago.
Oh, that was a chaotic episode. That was all over.
Yeah.
It was
If you guys are not subscribed to our Patreon, we post an episode every month, and it's just we just literally just hit record and start talking and just see what happens. And Nicole had a funny story to share. Like, it was just I had a real full body gag that like hurt my abdomen from one of Adam's stories. So anyway,
Trigger warning.
so after that, I was like, there's just no way that something interesting is going to happen. I'm just going to sleep. I mean, I really haven't had much. Okay. But then I really had to run for my money because 2 nights ago, I barely slept. I mean, insomnia is like, I guess, like a normal pregnancy thing. It's hitting me. Okay. Like if I wake up randomly, I can't fall back asleep anymore. I used to be the queen of falling back asleep. I can't do it anymore. I'm up for like 3 or 4 hours.
It sucks.
It's horrifying. And like that whole time I'm awake late at night, the baby is just going nuts. So I can't sleep because I'm like, well, it's like fun to feel her. Anyway, point is, last night was the second night in a row that I was woken up at 2 in the morning. No. Yesterday was 3. This morning I woke up at 3 in the morning.
Hour.
Yes.
The worst.
And my dog Cooper was walking around, like pacing around. And like he starts doing that around like 6 usually. He's just an early riser. He does not like to hang out in bed. He's just not. Cooper is a morning person. Okay. I am not. Leo is not. Leo will lay in bed with me all day if I want.
Yeah.
And anyway, so like I kind of could hear his nails like on the ground. Okay, we got our floor replaced upstairs, and now even when their nails are cut short, we can still hear them walking, and it is so annoying.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's so annoying. I hate it. It's like my one regret with that flooring. I wish I would have had my dogs walk around on it so I could hear what it would sound like.
It's always when I'm trying to record a video that Prime wants to get up and just go explore the basement.
It's the vinyl flooring, the vinyl plank. What is going on?
I know.
It's so loud. I keep my dog's nails short and it's bad. Anyway, so I could hear it, but at this point I was so exhausted, like, because I didn't really sleep the night before. And Daniel wakes up and he's like, "What is he doing?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Well, he's like over by our closets." I'm like, "I don't know. He's probably eating my underwear. Just go to bed. Like, oh, whatever. Just let him. Just let him.
Just let him have it.
Just let him. If it keeps him entertained, I don't care." And okay, so and then all of a sudden, Dan's like, "Okay, I don't know what's going on." Like he like gets up and checks on him, and then he like Cooper was like at the door, like he was acting like he needed to leave the room. Okay, so he takes him out. Cooper like shits his brains out, and we're like, "What the?" Or I was like, I like fell back asleep at that point. And apparently, like Cooper had like really bad diarrhea, and they come back up. He's like, "Okay, like we'll see what happens." Okay, a few minutes later, he's up again, and he throws up twice. And when Cooper throws up, it is nasty. It is a human grade throw up. Like Sorry. I'm sorry. Trigger warning. Like some dogs, Cooper Cooper is the dog that will eat things and just eat it. He just eats things and doesn't think. Obviously, he's a dog, but Leo doesn't do that.
He was the one that swallowed the toy where you had to give him the
we had
hydrogen peroxide.
We had to induce vomiting for him once before.
Yeah. He's a troublemaker.
He just like inhales parts of his toys and like I'm like, I didn't even think dogs would eat that part of a toy. Like, this is so weird. So I have to watch him so closely now when he's chewing on toys. And we have like specific toys that are really hard to get through now because he just eats them. Anyway, so Dan's like, oh, there's like a bunch of black stuff in it. What the hell? So and I'm just like, I'm sleeping. I don't know what's going on. Like I was pulling the sleeping card. I was awake, okay? But I was like pretending that I was half asleep or something. And Daniel has done it to me. So payback, bitch. Okay.
This is an ongoing game I can see happening in the near future with a human child.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, he cleans it up, and I was so happy I didn't have to clean up Cooper's throw up. It's way too human. Like, it's so gross. And we figured out that he was eating the bird seed that fell from our bird feeder because squirrels jump on it and it like weighs it down, and then like a bunch fall out onto the ground. It's so annoying. But squirrels gotta eat. It's fine. But like still it's super annoying. So he's like eating the seeds. And so I'm like searching, like, is my dog gonna die because he ate bird seed? And there's like all these things. And generally it's just like, no, if it's fresh seed, you know, he's gonna have a gastro reaction, like throw up and diarrhea, which yeah, like he did that. And there's also like, oh, they might get bloat. So I'm like, oh no. I'm like checking his stomach every like few minutes. I wanted him to like sleep with me, but I also didn't want him to throw up. I was like, should I go sleep in his bed like all night? That's what I was thinking about. And I like woke up like a few times to make sure he was still breathing. Like it's just anxiety. Dan and I were both awake for like most of the night, just like listening to him. And like there was one point where he like rolled over. He's like, well, this is a glimpse into what it'll be like with the baby, huh? And I was like, don't remind me.
You signed up for this.
Yeah, I was like, please don't. And it did not help that she was kicking the entire time that I was awake. I'm like, she's nocturnal. She's gonna be awake right now.
Oh gosh.
What do they call that when you get your day and night confused? Like some people have that problem.
I think it's just like day night confusion. Is that what it is? Just like that's, I don't know if there's like a name for it. So Cooper, and today he hasn't eaten today yet. Like he's just kind of being I can tell his stomach hurts. He's just being very chill, but he hasn't had any, like I'm still checking his stomach. Like he's going to be fine, but I hope that he learns. I doubt that he will, but he just eats everything.
You know, this is Prime. This is Prime in a nutshell. Jazzy is a fucking angel dog. It's just like Leo, and here comes Prime, the second child. Yeah. Demon spawn. Like he'll just he goes to the neighbor's side of the fence and comes back with something hanging out of his mouth the other day. Right away my mind goes to like, it's a rat or something, you know, or a fucking bunny. Yeah. And he gets a little closer because your girl's vision is going. And it's a tortilla and he's eating it. A squirrel must have dropped a tortilla. Like the squirrels around here, they can get it. Like they're finding food everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Little thieves.
They're little trash pickers. But he's like eating it because he wants to eat it because he knows it's food, but he's gagging on it. I'm like, you don't like it. Stop eating it.
Oh, Prime.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's not the smartest, sharpest tool in the shed.
I didn't send you that TikTok where like this golden retriever that has like this thing in his mouth, and his mom was like, "Oh, what do you have in your mouth?" And he just opens his mouth and drops it, and it's a rat, and she just goes, and it just takes off running.
Nia sent that to me. I saw it.
That's so funny.
I was fully expecting it to be dead. Like, I knew it was going to be a rat, but that shit ran away.
Yeah, fast. It ran fast.
Oh my gosh. My life.
But at least, at least Koopy was like, look, something's happening. I need to get out of this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine having to wait for two humans to wake their asses up to open a door for you because you're going to have explosive diarrhea?
Horrible. I feel terrible for him when that happens.
And his mom's just like, quit making fucking noise on the floor, you dumbass.
Literally, I was like, lay down, Koopy, lay down. He's like, nah, I can't. It's coming out. It's trying to come out.
Something's happening. I'm squeezing as hard as I can. It's a pucker level 10.
It's moments like that where I'm like, we really should get a doggy door because then he could just go. And we always had doggy doors growing up. Like my dogs always just went out. We never had to let them out. But like, I don't know, their feet get so dirty all the time. And like, I don't want, like, it's wet here. Like, I don't want them to be like in and out all day with wet feet. So if I can control when they go out, I can wipe it. But yeah, like I did feel really bad for him. But if he's pacing a lot, like if he won't lay down, we're like, okay, something's going on. Because Leo's done that too, and he like shit his brains out and came back in, and nothing was wrong. I'm like, what the hell did he eat? Like,
oh my god,
they just found something in the yard. I don't know.
Do you guys still do the whole perfume spray down when they come in from outside because they smell like outside?
Yes.
We bought that stuff.
I gotta be honest, that was probably one of the cutest things I've ever seen because like you and Daniel as a team were like, there was a whole show, a production when the dogs went outside. They came in, you're wiping their paws, then they gotta go over to the closet and get a spray down. It was just like, oh, this is goals.
Like you can tell we don't have children at this point because like we do all of that for the dog just to go potty.
I had these friends that they had a really big dog, but friends, acquaintances, they were part of that cult that I was part of, and also they gave the dog up because it was too much after a couple months, and I was like, no, you're the worst kind of people. Anyway, but whenever this dog, it was like a big like Beethoven type dog.
Yeah.
But whenever it drank water, obviously it was like drool because that's how those dogs
everywhere.
Are. Every time they heard that dog start drinking water, they would dart over there with a towel and just like hold it under the dog as it was walking around. I was like, oh my god.
And they gave it up. It was too much. You're creating the problem for yourself.
Yeah.
Literally. I've seen people like train their dog to dip their face into a towel after. Have you seen that? I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
They get like the double feeder thing and like one is the water and then they teach them to dip their face into the towel. I would do that. That's way easier.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
I know. Like use classical conditioning. Like dogs are dumb. Just kidding. No, they're super smart.
Unless you're Prime or Cooper.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's literally Cooper is very dumb. He in like a what is it, like street smart, book smart? Cooper is very book smart. He will learn a trick so fast. Street smart, he does not think. Leo is street smart and book smart. But
did I tell you guys the story about how Jay caught Prime on GoPro eating the taquitos off of his plate?
No.
Oh my god, it was so fun. I have to show you the video. Maybe I'll have him send it to me so I could post it. But he like you said with Cooper, like being street smart, book smart, he's smart because he like knows that he's not supposed to be doing it. And the fucking dog is sneaking, looking around the corner to see if like Jay's coming. It's hilarious. I'm like, you play dumb. You're an ass.
Yeah. He knows.
He knows, man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that was my night. And it was another night of being awake from like 3. I think I was up till like from like 3 to 6 a.m. Like, great. So.
Yeah, I woke up to text, which by the way, I would never like get woken up by a text because everything's on silent. But I woke up to a text that you sent. I think it was like 2:30 a.m. my time, so 4:30 your time.
Yeah.
And then Nicole's text after was like, "I hope you went back to sleep."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Here's my thing that I've been doing. Maybe this is like a hack. I don't know. It's like maybe it's a meditation thing I didn't know. But like when I'm in that pit of despair of can't sleep, I will go through the steps of driving somewhere in Tucson. Like as if I'm living in my old apartment. I know this is very weird, but in my head, I'm like, okay, like I'm in my old apartment. Okay, so I say goodbye to Leo, and then I walk out the door, and then I walk to my car, and then I turn on the air conditioning.
That's kind of smart.
And I back out. And I like map out. I'm like, okay, where am I going? Okay, I'm going to go to La Encantada Mall. And then I map out in my head driving to La Encantada Mall, and I usually fall asleep while I'm doing it.
That's kind of genius,
Wow,
actually.
that's like counting sheep, but better. Did you say goodbye to the black widows that were on your porch too? Because why just Leo?
I miss them.
I wonder if they're still there, setting up shop.
God.
I mean, probably. I feel like, I don't know. My landlord didn't believe me that they were there, which is so annoying. I'm like, why would I lie about that?
Yeah.
I should have
Also,
just
I
gone
read
and bought spray, but whatever.
I read an article that the black widow population is declining because brown widows are killing them. Black widows
no.
don't attack other like spiders or something like that, but brown widows do. And now the black widow population is dwindling quickly because the brown widows are just taking over their spots.
Oh, no kidding.
Are they brown widows or recluse?
Widows, brown widows. We had a brown widow in our backyard once, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but you
Hold
gotta
on.
get rid of it.
I'm gonna Google
it's
it.
It's gotta go.
But I'm gonna regret it. But
It
I need to
looks-
see.
Akin to the black widow, but it's brown in color and I guess more aggressive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, black widows are not aggressive. Like I came very close to them a lot.
That was a mistake. That's a nasty looking spider.
Ew. Oh God.
Nasty
Disgusting.
arachnid. I cannot. We got a whole bunch. We got a bunch of those little
It's
black.
the legs.
What are they called? Oh, the ones in the Midwest. You know, the ones that bite.
Oh, wolf spiders?
Yes, we have those in our basement.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
We have those everywhere.
Imagine how many crawl into your mouth when you're sleeping.
I don't even want to think about that.
Honestly,
Or my ear.
okay. One of the best like things that I ever did though was being desensitized to bugs and insects. Just generally just being like, if it literally is not trying to hurt me, it's just doing its thing. If I'm like, okay, I did stick my fingers in a wasp nest on accident, so like wasps are on my list, but like generally when I see spiders, I'm like, oh, well, let me move you. You know, I'm not as scared, but I used to be like, kill it! And I'm not like that anymore. It's some personal growth that I've had since moving here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other day we had one in the bedroom and, you know, you right away, like you're looking for a shoe, something to smash it with because like black widows, like the dogs lay on the floor. So I worry that they're going to get bit or they're going to like go to sniff it.
Yeah, it is different with like poisonous spiders. I'm a little too lax with the black widows. I'll admit that. They're really dangerous if they bite you.
I meant wolf spider. Did I say black widow?
You did say black widow,
Yeah.
but I
We
was
don't got
assuming you meant
those.
yeah.
I would move the fuck out if we had black widows.
But you do have brown recluses, aren't those in the Midwest?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
I don't know if I've
haven't
ever
seen any,
visually
though.
seen a brown recluse.
No.
I think there's a lot of lookalikes, so people think they see them and they don't actually. I think someone told me that. But they live in like wood piles. Like that's a big one. Like we have a wood pile. Like I always wear gloves. I'm like, I'm not risking it.
Yeah, because those are like deadly, aren't they? Like enough.
Yeah, it like dissolves your skin.
Oh yeah. Y'all, arachnophobia effed me up. You know what? Actually, no. My parents effed me up because they took me to a drive-in theater to see Arachnophobia when I was like 3.
Oh
all right.
no!
I haven't been able to turn off a lamp with ease since. I have to
that
like
part.
inspect the lamp.
The worst.
And also sometimes when I'm washing my face in the shower, I just have this thing like, oh, what if a spider is like coming down from the ceiling and then I'm like freaking out while I can't open my eyes. Do you guys ever do that?
Arachnophobia was legit the scariest movie of our childhood, arguably
Yeah.
so.
I'm not going to watch that. I'm going to ask Daniel about it, but I'm not going to watch it. I bet you he's seen it. He's seen every movie.
You ask Dan, and he will confirm.
Horrifying. What about you guys? What's new?
Oh, not much. I didn't sleep that well last night, actually. I thought I was going to, but I did not sleep that well. And then I woke up like with a headache. Ted hasn't been feeling good. So, we're in the day where something is off and right away you're like, what is it? Is it allergies? Is it a cold? Is it the stomach bug, considering the week I've had? Or is it COVID, Mm-hmm. But I had a headache and I was just kind of feeling like a little meh. And TMI, but I love you guys, so it's fine. You guys are here for it. I had my period last week, and it's still a little spotty, which is not normal for me. So I'm like, is it time to switch up the birth control? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but
maybe you're going through the change.
Oh, that would be lovely, actually.
It's a bit early.
It is a bit early. But you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, because my TikTok, and it's probably because I researched this, but my TikTok has been kind of filled with early onset menopause TikToks. You would be surprised at how many women pre-40 go through menopause. Because like my periods have always been really bad. So I've always thought that I had like endometriosis or like fibroids or whatever. And they say like usually if you have bad periods like that, it could lead to like early menopause. And like, I don't know, I have some of the symptoms, but I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Get it over with.
Stay tuned.
I always said like if a local hospital was doing like if they had those students performing hysterectomies and they needed some guinea pigs, I'd be first in line. Take it all out. I don't need it anymore. It needs to go bye-bye.
There you go.
No, thank you, sis.
Be done.
Be done. But yeah, I don't know.
Still have a headache?
Yeah, a little bit. It's still kind of there. But I kind of stayed out. I was outside a little bit this morning. I don't know how it is by you, Becca, but the sun's out. So it's very deceiving, but it's only like 45 degrees. So, I like me a little chill. Love a good hoodie weather, but the wind is kind of cold. So I'm just like sitting there like the sun's going to warm up. It's going to warm up because I like want the fresh air, but it's just not doing it.
Yeah. I think it's like 60 degrees and kind of overcast today. But yesterday was super sunny and beautiful. It was great. I did some gardening.
I feel like you get the warmer weather before we get it.
Yeah.
We're typically colder and you're warmer. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much of an update.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on.
Yeah, I don't have much either. I feel like I have been having to water plants constantly. Because it's getting in the 90s here. Sorry that you just complained about how cold it was. It is.
It's getting hot over there.
It's so hot.
I don't want to be in that weather either.
And I am so tired of living with someone who doesn't want to turn the thermostat under 78.
Oh, 78? 77 at least. Come on.
I feel bad. Steve listens to this religiously. Sorry, babe. I don't.
Sorry,
babe.
babe.
I'm fine. The thing is, like, it's when I sleep. I need to be freezing cold when I sleep.
Yeah.
And then we were in Sam's Club the other day, and I was like, "What do you think about maybe getting this evaporative cooler just for our bedroom at nighttime?" It was like a smaller one, and he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because I want to be cold."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
gosh.
Steve. It's normal. Lots of Arizonans are like Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
But it's not the stickiness. Like, that's why in Illinois I kept it cold, because I can't stand the sticky.
Yeah, the humidity it's something that you just don't want to sleep in. But it's funny that you bring that up about like something for your bedroom for at night. Did you know that, because apparently I'm snoring a lot lately from what I fucking hear. every day
Oh my gosh.
is that I'm snoring a lot. So I'm like, well, I don't know what you want me to do about that. But anyway,
I'm sleeping fine. Okay. You figure it out.
but I saw a TikTok that said something about how people, the only reason that people really sleep together or couples sleep together now is because back in the days of the like early depression, they couldn't afford houses with multiple rooms and they couldn't afford more than one bed. So they compromised and then couples started sleeping together. And I'm like, listen, this separate bedroom thing might come sooner than you think. Like, I don't know. I'm going to have to kick one of the kids in another room and take over a bedroom because I'm sick of you complaining. Think about how nice it would be to have your own bedroom, though. Decorate it as you want.
Yeah. I think
And
about
you can-
this all the
It
time.
can be your own like Ann Getty. Yeah.
Do you think about it all the time? I'm telling you,
Yeah.
man, we might be onto something.
I do. And it
Okay,
hurts
but-
Daniel's feelings, though, so I try not to bring it up too often. But, like, I have brought it up, like, as a joke, hee hee. And he, like, I can tell that it hurts his feelings, so I won't bring it up anymore. But I'm like, but it would be kind of nice, right?
Wait, but you know, like when it's bedroom times, like how
get
do you
together.
choose?
Then you can have sleepovers.
Yeah, that's more
You can have
special.
But what if after you're finished, you're like, well,
Time to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
my
so
room.
this is the thing. I'm not a cuddler as it is. Like, I don't do the snuggle thing. You're
I
on
don't,
your side of
I
the
don't
bed.
unless it's cold because Steve is like a furnace, and I'm like, ooh, get over here.
Yeah, no. You better. There's a very defined line in the middle of the bed that there's no crossing over when I'm sleeping. So that's like he can't even use that as an excuse. But I brought it. I sent him the TikTok, and he's like, no, and I was like. Whatever.
I think it's like it's associated with like unhappy couples to sleep in separate rooms. But
Yeah.
I feel like it should be more normalized because, yeah, if someone snores, okay, your quality of sleep is so important.
Yes.
It's so incredibly important, like for your health, for your happiness. And if your partner snores, sorry, Nicole, but like
I thought he'd be more on board.
if Daniel was like a really big snorer, he does snore like, but not a lot. And he'll usually stop if I like nudge him.
Yeah.
But if that becomes like a bigger thing, then I will absolutely be like, I'm going to go get a different room.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom and Ted have separate rooms. They've never slept together. And it's because like my mom is up like 3 times a night going to the bathroom. He's a lighter sleeper. Like
Yeah.
we're different people. And then the TikTok also said, like, think about it. Like, you're typically attracted to your opposite, which also means like it's you and Steve, like hot and cold, you know, like
Night owl, morning person.
yeah, you like different things. Like I have my alarm set for 6:40 every morning, and he's constantly being like, like he doesn't know it's gonna fucking go off at 6:40, and I'm like, could be solved. If I had my own bedroom, wouldn't have to deal with it.
Just be really annoying. Like, just be super annoying and like loud, huffy, and then maybe he'll get.
slamming drawers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just be a really
Amazing.
bad roommate. I'll give you some tips.
that's another thing. We don't have a lot of storage. Like we have one closet and we have one dresser because our room is small. It's a small bedroom. And I'm like, I could fucking get another dresser for my clothes instead of shoving all of this shit. Lots of things could be solved, but I digress.
Gosh. Somebody is spicy this morning, huh?
I have a headache.
Oh my gosh. That is funny.
Yeah.
I would love to know if anyone out there sleeps in a different room than their partner that they love and care about, but you just sleep in separate rooms. I would be interested to hear some happy stories.
Yes, me too. And like some reassuring.
I don't
like,
think I would like it.
no.
I gotta be honest.
Really?
No, I like that. Like we go to bed together, and like it literally, Steven. But see, this is the thing. He falls asleep on the couch, and if I'm not ready to go to bed, he won't go to bed. I'll be like, just go get comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching this show, just go fall asleep. And he won't. Like, he literally won't go into the room until I want to go in the room. Like,
That's
kind of, like,
sweet.
people are like, oh, that's cute. But also, I'm like, bro, get better sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
I do think
Yeah.
I think I saw on TikTok, so this is like not like the most reliable thing in the world, but it was like couples who are like statistically happier do go to bed and wake up at the same time. So that because they're like doing that together. You know what I mean?
Right. They're on the same schedule.
They're in sync. Yeah. So maybe you are onto something, Adam. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm not
another
happy.
thing he does.
Steve, you like paused it. What is this?
Another thing he does is he likes to have the TV on. I think I talked about this before, and it can't go over like a 9 or a 10 because then it's too loud for me. So like he can leave it at like a 15 if I wasn't in the room. And then I can like not sleep with a TV. Lots of things. We are very opposite people. So that TikTok just hit home a little hard and made a lot of sense. And I was like, how does this not make sense to you? You're not being rational, but whatever. Anyway,
Oh, gosh.
I don't know how
All
we
right.
got on that topic.
How did we get on that topic? Oh, sleeping cold. And then you're just like, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The weather. You were in the middle of your update and I hijacked it.
No, you didn't. I didn't really have much to say, but I do have to water a lot now. And like those cups that I love for my Hoya, the ones that are like, you know, they have like a graded cashpo that just has like, you know, the ones I'm talking about. They just dry out so quick now because it's dry AF here. So that's not been fun. Really makes you want to reevaluate the amount of plants you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd
So-
think having like little plants would make it easier, but they dry out so much faster and it's like double the work.
Yeah. But you know, some of this is my problem too with my plant care routine. And I'm not even mad that we did this because we're talking about plant stuff in this catch up. So it can go a little long. But my plant care routine is I flush all of my pond/leca plants every time I water. I take them, I flush water through them, add their nutrient solution. Now, technically, I could like 3 of the 4 waterings I do, just take a watering can and just fill up nutrient solution in each one of them. But that's not how my brain works. I'm like, no, I have to do the whole process.
Oh,
But maybe
see,
that's-
that's what I do.
But maybe that's why they're growing so well and everything's so big. Anyway, so yeah, watering just feels extra stressful in the summer. And I'm just
Do
like,
you know how many Hoya you have? Like including shop Hoya in your house?
But see, like all my Hoya are shop Hoya basically. So like all of the cuttings in the shop come from like the plants we grow.
Okay,
I don't-
so like how many mother Hoya do you have?
I don't really know. I did start doing like one of my waterings. I was like every time I brought a plant over to the sink, I put it in a spreadsheet just so I could just keep track of,
Oh, that's
you know,
smart.
the name and who I got it from and if I knew what date I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think it's about like 120.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I'm running out of room.
Yeah, I bet. You need another
So-
go.
I know. Honestly, they're never coming back in stock. There's another shelf at IKEA that has adjustable shelves. And I was like, you know what? I want this shelf because
Yeah.
my
big
friend
ones.
Wendy, her Instagram's like at show.me.your.leaves. She has these. They have adjustable shelves so your trellis can go under them. Our topic today.
Yeah.
But it was like $259 for one of the shelves. And I was like, sweet
Are they
Jesus.
glass shelves?
No, they're not.
What
But they're
are
heavy
they?
duty.
Wood?
I don't know if I think they are wood.
Mm.
But the adjustable thing is like, you know.
That is kind of clutch. I thought about leaving my bottom shelf off of my new one for my taller plants, but I have that grow light in my ceiling, so I just put them over there. But it's not something that I might end up doing that depending on how tall my plants get after
Yeah.
I plank them.
It's the I'm going to share the link with you guys.
Wink, wink.
Then that's our topic, isn't it?
That's our topic. Let's just segue in, folks.
Okay, let's get into this topic.
Oh, look at
Pause
this.
for mid-roll break.
Okay, that shelf I think I've seen. You know what? It kind of blows my mind that you guys don't have the V shelves in stock. Like they never went out of stock.
They're never coming back in stock here, I don't think. How do you pronounce that? It's FJALKINGE.
I want to say it's like Fjallkinge or something like that. Like I think that FJ is like a Fja.
That's a good
But it's
guess.
76 inches tall. Okay, that's pretty tall. That's taller than I am, right? Because I'm 6'4". 6 feet tall is 60 inches.
Yeah.
I'm 64 inches.
That's almost as tall as a standard door. Standard doors are like 80 inches.
Becca knows
You
a lot
would
about
know.
the size of doors.
Do I ever?
Do I have? And it's 46 and a half, inches wide. Like that is a unit.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that is a
I'm
unit.
probably going to get one just to see if I like it because I kind of like the uniformity. So if I'm going to have a wall of Hoya, which I think I'm going to eventually because we want to make the front room a tiki bar.
Oh my God, awesome.
I'm going to have to do a wall of Hoya like you have, Nicole, with your shelves. And I think 2 of these side by side would give me enough room to move everything that's in my front room in 2 different spots now into one spot.
That would be so cool.
So
Like a backdrop for the bar.
Well, no, it would be like a backdrop for me filming where like we would usually have the projector.
Oh.
The bar is going to go over where the plants currently are.
Okay.
But then there's going to be plants interspersed in there too, because a tiki bar, you got to have the tropicals,
Yes.
All your bamboo trellises in the tiki bar.
Boom.
So, what is your guys' favorite way to grow? Oh, hold on. Wait, this is Adam's episode.
No, go
Adam,
ahead. This
get
is a
to
team
asking
effort.
questions. I'm just kidding. Well, okay, I was just gonna ask, like, what motivates you guys to like trellis, or let's just say trellis as like move your plants upright. Like, what motivates you to want to do that?
Me personally, organization, cleanliness. It looks more neat and tidy.
Yeah.
And also pest prevention.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's different. So I grow mostly Hoya. So does Nicole, for the most part, that you would trellis. But you do have a lot of philodendron too. Becca, you have a lot of aroids. Aroids just grow straight up. Hoya, if you didn't do anything, the weight of their leaves would automatically make them fall and dangle.
Right.
And then they're going down to the floor. They're on the shelves. The other ones are also growing that way. They're all touching each other. They're just sharing the clementites. Like everything is just,
Yeah.
it's an orgy.
Yeah.
It is.
So I make room for the Holy Spirit. All right. We make room for the Holy Spirit.
No one's making purple in Adam's house. They're just making deep blue. Did you guys ever hear that, like church camp? It's like the girls
but
are
I did
pink.
put it together.
The girls are pink, the boys are blue, and we don't make
Oh,
purple. Oh my God. The first time I heard that, I was wailing laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
That was like a song.
Ew.
'Cause I went to a Catholic.
Really?
I went to a Catholic school. Well, maybe my freaking school made it into a song, but like I went to Catholic school all my life,
Yeah.
and I swear I heard that as like a little like, like a jingle.
Don't make purple. Don't make purple. They have like they get like a band out to like sing the song with Don't Make Purple.
God.
The choir, I guess, would be more appropriate for a Catholic school.
with the organ. Okay, so with you're right about that. Like with them taking up so much space. Like I trellised mine. If I'm being completely honest here, I started trellising my Hoya because Adam told me to. Because okay, my Velosa. I took a video today and posted it to stories, and my Velosa had the longest runner for the longest time and was not putting on any leaves. And as soon as I put it on this ugly ass green trellis that I had it sitting in my drawer because I couldn't find anything long enough for the runner. Like that's how long it was. Now it's got leaves popping out of like 4 different growth points, and they're all going to come in at the same time. And it's because I
Perfect.
trellised it.
And then you can give me a cutting because I've always
And then
wanted
I can
a
give
plant.
you a cutting. Exactly. I'm hoping it's like grown out by the time I go to Becca's too, so I could bring you one too.
Yeah,
I have a piece of yours.
she does.
Oh,
she
you
bought
do?
it.
Yeah, remember?
Oh, that's right.
But it
Is
had flat mites,
okay.
so I should have had a
Yeah.
refund. No, I'm kidding.
Bitch.
No,
I don't think you bought it.
I think you just gave it to me. No, it's healed up. It put out a new leaf, and it's beautiful.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I don't think mine has flat mite. I think that's like the only one that doesn't, but I could be very wrong. Very wrong.
Yeah,
treat
because
'em
my
all.
globulosa had it a lot, but it kept growing like wild. And they're the same family, Velosa globulosa. Yours distinctly looks way different than mine with the scalloped edges, the long, slender leaf. But it kept growing while it had flat mite. So I think maybe those are just a sturdy one. Also, I know you bought sulfur treatment because I saw it in your Instagram stories today. I just want to advise you to wear gloves, wear a
And
mask, goggles, if you can, long sleeves. Just like I'm not saying that you need to, but you probably should. I don't
Well,
know.
my skin is very sensitive, so I did plan on it anyway. But yeah, thank you. I will.
Yeah.
That's why I've been waiting to take it out, to like take all of them outside, because that's going to be a process too. But I had a friend do it, and she was like, listen, I did this sulfur treatment in my greenhouse, and I'm getting new leaves on everything I did it on. And I'm like shocked. And I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. I don't know if I would advocate for sulfur anymore. I mean, people do what you want.
Yeah.
It did help me. I've used it multiple times. I feel like now that I got it down to where it's manageable, I just do the really hard sprays of water in the bathroom or the sink for the ones that are small enough every time I water them. And I haven't seen any signs of flat mite. So
Good.
once you knock them down, I think then you can just like start doing that regularly and everything will be good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're still there. Whew.
Okay, so sorry. Your Velosa is now growing because you tied her up.
I tied her up. I just wrapped that runner right along the trellis, and I probably could have like spiraled it. I did it along the edges,
Yeah.
But like the runner on those plants are so thick, like I don't want it to break. So you have to be careful with Hoya runners too.
Yeah.
And it's very tall. It's like taller than one of my euphorbia or like one of my cactus.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited. I feel like trellising your Hoya definitely helps with the growth.
Yeah, and there are definitely some Hoya, and probably some aeroids too, but I'm just thinking mostly of Hoya that don't want to be trellised. I wouldn't say don't want to be trellised, but that's just like not how they would grow. Like today, no shade, but I saw you had your polyneura like trellised up, and that's one that I don't trellis because that one I feel like that one hangs. That one likes to hang.
I just realized I didn't have my AirPods in this whole time.
Well, that's going to be a nightmare for you.
Hold on. What'd you say?
I said, well, that's going to be a nightmare for you.
Oh, Nicole.
I am such a fuck up.
No.
No.
Sorry, guys. I'm apologizing now because we're not starting that over. I love you. Okay. The polyneura, it's not like attached to that trellis. I actually used that just so that it had something to like lean on. But those like to like cascade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so those types of Hoya in particular, but this also works for aeroids as well. But once they start bending downwards and defying gravity, it's like gravitropism. They release apical dominance. Like, so apical dominance is basically telling the plant the hormones are at the growth tip, and that's the top of the plant. And if that top of the plant starts bending downward, it releases that dominance just like it would if you just snip that tip off, and tells the plant, well, we have to grow out of another node. to go upward. And I find that like Lacunosa polyneura, when they're tipped down, it literally will shoot off stems on every note. So like a couple of my Hoya, like Bermanica that I just posted today on my Not Dude, it started as I just like a 2-leaf cutting in one vine, and now it's like 6 vines because it hangs below the pot, you know.
That's
but
interesting.
The majority of Hoya, I would say, are epiphytic climbers. Like they want to go up.
Yeah. So you're saying if I take that trellis out it's just leaning on and just let it hang over the pot, it'll probably put another offshoot out. Because I was like, this is probably
for sure.
This is like one of my fastest growing Hoya, the polyneura. Like, I think that Jessie sent that plant to me when...
Really?
Yeah, she did. And it has put out, like, it was just a 2-leaf little cutting when she sent it to me, and it's grown so much. But I think I need to repot it because I think that pot, like, I think the roots are growing out of the bottom. But I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of, because I was like, well, do I snip it and do I, like, you know, propagate a piece so I could have like a more full plant, but just let it hang.
Just let it dangle.
Let her dangle. My polyneura has come back from the brink of death. I'm so proud of myself, and I want to share how I did it. If anybody's curious.
I also want to see it. Is it in the cabinet that's over by the washing machine? The laundry room?
Here, I'll grab it.
No, you just got up. Don't get up.
Are you sure? It's fine. I need to move. Okay? Gotta keep my circulation up. It's fine.
Becca stands up and you just hear...
I don't know if it was record time. I'm pretty slow these days. Okay. But first of all... Oh, wait. Let me do the back camera. How do I flip this? Okay. So...
Okay.
As you can see, this is new. The lighting is so bad. I'm sorry. And then this... And then this is new. This thing.
So you chopped it up, huh?
Mm-hmm. I chopped it up, and what I've been doing is it's in a net pot that I got from Adam. And I have it in a reservoir of water.
Oh, is
in
that
De La
Pawn?
Tanks.
Is that Pawn I see?
No, it's De La Tanks.
Oh, okay.
So...
Well, it is chunky like Pawn.
You know what?
It's the Pawn effect.
They do like to be on the moist side.
They do.
Noticed, right?
And I think that's where I initially messed up, because it was on my wall. Okay, so initially it was in bad shape. Like I was like, this plant is dead. It's dead. There's no way this is coming back. But I was like, let's just put it in a Ziploc bag and see if that revives anything. This is also new. These 3
Look
right
how
here.
Pretty.
So it was in a Ziploc bag in like a little grow house. And I don't know. I think that like if a plant is on the brink of death and it's small enough, put it in a friggin' Ziploc bag.
Yeah. True.
And it will probably revive it because the humidity like shoots up really high. Mm-hmm. And so I did that, not with much expectation, but I kind of just put it in there. I potted it in this net pot that I got from Adam years ago. And I put it in De La Tanks. And, you know, after I cycled through watering it, all of, like, the tiny bits fell out. So it's mostly just, like, cocoa chips and pumice, essentially. Like, that's, like, all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, like, trace amounts of nutrients. And then I put it in a cover pot with a little bit of water. And the roots grew down into the water, and I was like, oh, something is happening. And then it started putting out new growth. And then I finally took it out of the bag, and I put it in the bottom shelf of my greenhouse cabinet. So it's not getting like that much light because there's a lot above it. So the lighting went down because Adam told me that it might have been getting too much light in the little grow house.
Yeah,
I think
it
mine might
was.
be getting too much light too.
Because your leaves were like, your leaves weren't like fishtail-esque. They were kind of narrow and... Yeah. And they're still... Which tells me that it was getting too much light is what I would think. Yeah.
And they're still kind of long like that. But I do have these 2 new growth points, which I will keep an eye on to see if they do turn out to be more like wide. But yeah, it was great. I really love it. I love this method. It stays wet. Like the soil is like wet. and I really enjoy it. Like, I guess if this is the pawn experience, I don't mind this. But this feels better than the pawn experience. So maybe there's something to...
Of course it does.
Maybe there's something to, like, cocoa chips and pumice instead of pawn. And then I have another Lekka-inspired moment here, or pawn-inspired moment. This is a Linearis, which is... putting out some babies, and I have it in spag with a wicking cord and a cup of water in a net pot.
Boom.
Look at you.
So I was being more experimental with my propagations, and it worked out great. But we're supposed to be talking about trellises. And why are we talking about reviving my Hoya?
That's
Well, because
okay.
we were
I feel
talking
like
about
we don't-
polynura and being a trellised up, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like we don't talk about each other's collections enough, even though we have a podcast. We just don't. So this is fun.
That is true. So we'll see.
I love that. I'm excited for that because remember the polynura was one that we both wanted, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then you got one. But is that the one that came in the tissue box? That's the one that came in the tissue box, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this plant has given me so much grief. So much grief. It arrived to me literally in a tissue box wrapped in toilet paper. And I was like, what the hell? And I told the guy, listen, I don't want to leave you a bad review, but I want you to know this was not good. And then he called me a Karen. And I was like, what's a Karen? It was the first time I ever heard that. I had to look it up.
That was a journey.
Oh,
like,
that was
what?
a journey.
Am I being a Karen?
Emotions.
Like, I didn't. He was
You
like,
were not.
he's like, well, you said like, I don't want to leave you a bad review. It was very threatening, blah, blah, blah. I was like, was it?
You sent a plant in a tissue box, my dude.
Wrapped in toilet paper.
Toilet. Okay.
Toilet paper.
I do plan on doing I've been saying this for like a year, but like a pro tips and tricks for like trellis, like pawn in general, but then also including trellis, because like how I do it personally, because pawn and Lekka are not a very like sturdy substrate.
Yeah.
I zip tie the trellises to my net pots. So that's how, and I kind of love it because then I can just hold the trellis and pick it up and pull it out of the cash po and just boom, and it's all there, and I can just plop it in the sink. But that's how I do it. I do water seal my bamboo trellises with Thompson's water seal spray or any kind of water seal spray, because you don't have to, but they will start rotting very quickly. Like bamboo will take in the moisture.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm terrible about, and honestly, like I wish I could be like Sydney Plant Guy. I think we've talked about them in a recent episode, and Jake the Plant Guy. But they make poles for their aeroids that literally just grow these beautiful, insane aeroids in their home.
Yeah.
But I'm terrible at trellising or putting aeroids, and I need to put a plank on my Monstera constellation because it's unruly.
Yeah.
And that's what you do a lot, Becca, right?
Yeah. So, okay, there's a lot of people who grow on moss poles, and Fern actually uses this specific moss pole that's like a foldable, like plastic casing, and then you just like shove the stuff in it, and you can like stack, which is great. Yeah. But the thing is it's just another thing to water. And if you can keep up with the spag, keeping it wet, then your plants will probably get like really big. But I know myself, and I'm not going to do that. And I've done it, and I didn't. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I switched to planks.
It retains the moisture better than spag?
No, it doesn't. You don't wet them. You can.
Oh, okay.
But like it dries pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like probably faster than spag. But what I've seen is the leaves aren't getting like as sized up as if I was keeping spag wet. I have to admit that, obviously. But it's so much more passive, and my leaves did size up a lot when I started doing it. And all I did was I stapled some plant stakes to a plank of wood. It's just, there's like specific types of wood I think you should use, like nothing thicker than like 1 inch, because the 2x4s are way too heavy and they snap and then they break your plant. And then your plant looks terrible in my experience. So 1x4s, 1x6s is like my ideal. And then I just staple some plant stakes to it and shove that into the soil so that there's only like the very, very bottom of the wood is touching the soil, that top layer, and that top layer dries out really fast, right? So it's not like in the soil, so it's not rotting quickly, at least. Anyway, and it's just like a leaning post for the plant. That's really all it is. Just something to lean on. And then the plant, once it knows it has that support, whether it attaches or not, it will get bigger leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find do you see like aerial roots just gripping onto it?
No.
On some of your plants? Oh, no. Okay.
I don't think it's humid enough in my plant room to cultivate that sort of environment. And like the wet spag makes that humidity and like attractive moisture wise. The wood is dry, so it's not going to do that. I have had one attached before, but it was in my greenhouse cabinet, and that's probably the only reason why.
Because of humidity.
Yeah.
I wonder if this would be a good reason to bring back misting. Like just mist like the
you'd have to do it all the time.
You have to worry about, but then you have to worry about rotting too.
Yeah, the wood rotting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would suggest using cedar fence planks. That's like my favorite type of plank. Cedar is super rot resistant, and it doesn't attract bugs because bugs don't like the smell of cedar. But generally, I haven't had any rot on the wood. The stakes have rotted, but the wood has not rotted at all. And I've sometimes even used just regular pine wood that I just had. So
yeah,
and pine is like
got a lot of wood out there.
I got a lot of wood, but I would suggest it. It's much more passive, not as fast results, but I'd say it's much more passive. And like aroids love it. They love it. My Melanochrysum crosses love it. They got big pretty fast.
Did they
did.
See, I need it to just have support for because I want my Thai constellation because it's kind of growing sideways and I want it to grow up. Like I need it to grow. I don't need it. The leaves are already freaking huge. I don't need them to get bigger, but I do want it to train it up.
In that situation, I don't know if the wood is going to be strong enough because it is sort of a balancing act. Like all of mine lean against a wall. Like I don't have them just freestanding because I wouldn't trust it to stay standing. You know what I mean?
Would it be okay to put the wood without the stakes all the way down in the pot? Because I bought a deep pot at a big box store that's probably maybe like 1.5 feet deep, 2 feet deep. So it's like a long pot. So I thought if the wood was all the way to the bottom, it would stay in there pretty well.
Yeah. I think that'd be fine. I'd use cedar if you can.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that probably would be a better option. You could water seal it and use cedar. Because the my Adansonii tree has just it's like a round piece of wood just straight down the middle of the pot, and it's not rotted at all. So
that's a good example.
They do that in the industry.
Okay, so that's on a round piece of wood, like a pole?
Yeah, kind of like a pole. She's pole dancing.
Like I'm thinking fence post
Working.
too. Like
if
like
you
a
square one?
Yeah, like if you go to Home Depot, like I'm thinking of Adam's 2 foot deep pot. If you went to a big box store and just got like a fence post that already has it's staked out at the end, so it wouldn't take up so much surface area at the bottom, because I think that they sell pre-made fence posts, and I'm pretty sure they sell cedar ones, but then you got to deal with the thickness if it's too thick. Yeah, your tie is gigantic. Like that's going to be a training process. You're going to use plant braces.
Yeah, probably the Velcro. Just strap her up.
Strap it up,
tighten it
like
up
we're in
every
some
week.
S&M fantasy. It's just gonna be she's gonna be tied up, and Christian Grey is gonna be there with more and more rope. All right. I've never seen those movies, but I know things about them.
You've read the books though, right?
No, I haven't.
What?
You haven't read the books?
No.
It's bad.
Yeah, that is bad.
I read it in high school during senior year. Like when I did not pay attention to school anymore, I would just read on my Kindle 50 Shades of Grey.
In class.
In class. Well, like they think you're reading, so they're like, oh, that's good. And it's literally like he strapped her down and tore her nipple. Yeah, okay, but with like monsteras though, they are so, I'm having this struggle with mine. They are so I don't want to say invasive, but they're very like strong and heavy. And I still haven't quite figured out what to do with my big one because
The one in your bedroom?
Yeah, there's so many pieces going on, and like unless you train it from like a really small plant, it's hard to get it on like that straight path up a pole.
Yeah.
But I think it can. I do think it can be done just slowly.
Yeah.
But you're in for a wild ride, I think. That monster is gonna take you for a ride.
I'm going to put it in front of the window like Nicole and be like, do you see this plant here? Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
It's here for a reason. I got to be honest. I do really love that plant. I love that Thai constellation. But it is taking up so much room that like I'm at the point where I was like, well, I could try to sell it to somebody. But it makes me sad to think about not having it.
Like as a
I don't
whole,
know how to explain
like
it.
Sell the whole plant.
Yeah. It is just like it's literally taking up an entire window. And I was like, well, I could have so many more like Hoya specifically, but also just like it could open up the space a little more, It's always difficult to find an area that it would grow. But then I just don't think I can give it up.
Well, what if, absolutely do whatever makes you happy. But like, what if you took a cutting and saved it for yourself and then sold the plant as like a big plant, So like you're not getting rid of the whole thing. I'm sure you thought of this.
Yeah, I have. But like the top leaf is already so big. So then like, how would that look? I'd have a giant leaf and then the next one that came out would just be a little dink, Well,
then you cut off the old leaf.
Then you cut off the little dink and that'll be the start of the plant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I really do love restarting plants. Like a lot of the Hoya, I'm fine with chopping them all the way down to like 2 nodes because I like watching them grow small to big,
Yeah. It is harder to start aeroids than it is Hoya, but it's still fun.
And I feel like, not to be like a contrarian, but I feel like the plant would be less attractive to me if the top cutting was gone, because then I know, well, the next leaf that's going to come out is going to be tiny, and it has all these it has like 5 or 6 huge leaves, and the top is chopped off. Like for me, if I was to buy a plant like that, I'd want to have that top cutting,
True.
Yeah.
And you can't take a bottom cutting unless you rerouted the entire plant. That's like
and
a
that
whole
would
thing.
that would be so much stress on that plant too, because those leaves are so big. Like it would have to develop a root system to sustain like those big leaves, and it just wouldn't. It would decline very rapidly. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is another reason why like cutting your plants, like you're hesitant to cut your big plants and sell them, or even to share them, because it's like, ooh, I don't want to cut it because then you're gonna get these tiny leaves. And yeah, it's definitely a catch-22.
Yeah,
Aeroids, man.
Exactly. I did with my Splendid. Before it put out too many big leaves, I chopped it and then I repropagated it from like the smallest big leaf, and then now I'm growing it out again. So like I had like little shitty leaves that were growing. They were like 3 inches long, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. And then I put it on the plank, and then the leaves started getting to be like 5 or 6 inches, which was way bigger, and it just looked kind of funny. So I just chopped it and then moved the whole plant down.
Yeah.
And I lost like 2 leaves in that process.
Yeah.
Which sucked.
Yeah,
2 beautiful leaves.
I went to Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I went to get my Biliete because I wanted to show you guys.
Oh.
So like I took, because that was
Chunky.
an aeroid. I took the big old chunk, like that was a thick stem.
Yeah.
And I put it in a takeout container with spag until it sprouted a little baby. And now we have like this little baby Billietier.
Oh, look
That's
how
adorable.
cute.
So I really like doing things like that. So I could do that with like the tie if I just chopped up each leaf and like sold it and then kept a
Yeah.
chunk of the stem and like regrew the baby. I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
adorable. Take a picture of that. We're going to have to put these in stories today so people can see what we're talking about.
That Billy is so cute. That's smaller. No, that's bigger than the plant initially was when you got it. Because when you initially got it, it had like 3 leaves, maybe.
Yeah.
What a
He's
boss.
a cutie.
So I have a Monstera elbow.
You do.
I do. And
Okay,
it's
weird flex.
it's a
So I have
weird flex, bro.
the rarest plant that everybody wants.
Yeah. So I know you can stop hating now, but
Well, I have a Monstera creme brulee and a Monstera bananas foster and a Monstera chocolate lava
Bananas
cake.
foster.
Okay. And
Foster.
I don't know what else.
Foster. It's like it has like yellow variegation with like dark spots.
Like a true banana. Oh.
That's funny.
But it's pretty juvenile. Would you consider me planking it now and training
Yes.
it now?
Yes.
Start early.
Yeah.
Some of my Hoya is just a 2-leaf cutting, but I have it in a pot with like a 3-foot tall bamboo trellis because I know where it's going to be, you know? I just know.
You're manifesting that shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's good to do that ahead of time, especially like what I've done with planks is I say, okay, this is the plank I'm putting in here. And if the plant outgrows this, then I'm just going to chop from that point. You know what I mean? Like because I don't want it to outgrow this plank. If it's like a long one, because I have some like 4-foot planks for my Monstera elbow and my constellation. And I'm like, if it gets any bigger than this, I have to chop and prop it because I don't need a plant bigger than that. Like that's like my limit for this space.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I would say not that you don't have it on your shelf, do you? You have it in its own little spot, right?
It's on the bookshelf underneath like the ceiling light now. It's not on my no.
So there's like nothing like directly above it besides the light.
Correct.
Oh yeah, you could easily put a plank of wood in there now.
Right. That's why. You know what I was thinking? Have you ever tried? Well, I don't think you have, but have you ever seen anybody plank a Hoya?
I've seen people like, I've killed that Steve, our friend of the pod. He does mounted Hoyas, like you would mount a staghorn fern.
Oh,
As far
yeah.
as planks, I really haven't, but maybe there are people out there that do that because I mean that's how Hoya grow. They climb up trees. But
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Lots of things.
I feel like if I was to
consider.
do that, I'd do like a skinny pole and just wrap it around. That's how I would do it if I was to use wood on a Hoya, I think.
see, but that's a type of trellis like I see all of the Swedish Hoya people doing is they basically take the stuff that we used to make like sphagnum moss poles out of, that metal like wire stuff, and they create like a circle of it. So they cut like a foot long, but they wrap it around to be like a cage. They put that in the middle of the pot and they just twist the Hoya vine like spiraling up. So you basically hide that thing as the Hoya grows, but also you have like this beautiful, like, I don't know. And I really want to do that with some of my Hoya because it just looks a lot easier and nicer. Like instead, because a lot of the times I grow up a 3-foot pole, but I don't want to bend it down when it gets to the top because what happens then is those leaves, like that growth tip kind of stops growing. So I need to let it grow up 3 more feet and then I can bend it down to where when I bend it down around the trellis, the growth point is still pointing upward. You know?
Oh, so like with my Velosa.
I mean, sometimes I have had Hoya when like there were small leaves developing and I bent it downwards, like they still developed, but sometimes they just kind of stopped doing anything. They didn't fall off, but they just like stopped going anywhere. And the
I'll
plant
keep an
put
eye on it
energy
then.
into like another new growth point kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have the height, like I have the ceiling height to be able to just add another one and just go straight up. So I'll just keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of things. Wait, so your Hoya, because you have a lot on your shelf, on your shelves, but like, do you have 2 shelves or 1?
I have a lot. I have like
Well, the V shelves.
I have one that's like a double wide, then I have one that's the shorter one, and then I have
okay.
2 that are like the taller, skinnier ones.
Okay. But the ones that are that tall, you have like just sitting on the top of your lower one?
What do you mean?
Like, because they don't fit on the shelves when they grow that tall. So where are yours?
Oh, well, the shorter one, I have a Soltech light above. So it's like the top
Okay.
of that. I have the tall one sitting on top of that.
Okay.
And then some of them do fit in the circle trellises that I use, the metal
Right.
circle one. They do fit perfectly in the shelf. So I just keep wrapping them around.
Oh, so you just wrap them around multiple times.
Yeah. I just keep going in a circle. Like it looks like a wreath. I have a couple Hoya that I guess we could post in stories. So remind me. But that just like are just it looks like a Christmas wreath almost.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've seen a few of yours.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
What do you think that's enough talking about,
I think
you
so.
know, tying
Yeah.
up our plants?
Tie 'em up.
Yeah, if you guys have any tips or tricks, make sure to make a story post. Tag us in it at Potted Together on Instagram. We'd love to see it. Love to share it. Because, it's just a wealth of knowledge between all of us. We're all just sharing what we know, what we've experienced, what we've learned.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And we've all shared individually our journeys with trellising and planking, etc. I have a few on my channel. So
yeah. So, yes, make sure you follow us over on Instagram at Potted Together. Leave us a review for the podcast, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate it. And you can follow us each individually. I am at Not Dude. Becca is at De La Plants. Nicole is at My Clean Leaves. We have a Patreon. It gets rowdy over there. There's some good stuff. If you're interested in supporting us and also having a little fun, head over to Patreon. All of the links in the bio. And we'll talk to you next week.
And I apologize again for the sound. Love you.
I doubt they'll even notice, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.